Welcome to RUFAT'S Thinking Corner, a space to slow down, think deeper, and explore the ideas that shape our world.
Sometimes we watch a movie and it stays with us, not just because of what it says, but because of what it means. The Matrix is one of those films. A story that opens a door for philosophy, possibility, and politics. What is real? Morpheus asks this question, and it echoes through every part of the Matrix. Post-constructivism starts with another kind of question. Not what is truth, but who made this seem like truth? Who benefits from this version of reality? Neo doesn't wake up from a dream. He wakes up from a system. A world built on rules and meanings he never chose. But this doesn't mean that the world is fake. It means that the world is built to feel inevitable. And this is ideology. The way of relating to the world as it is natural, even if someone built it. It is like working a job that exhausts you, but feeling guilty for wanting to quit. It is like following written rules that tell you who to love or what success should look like. The Matrix is not just machines. It's a belief system. It feels normal because you have never known anything else. And that's the point. We live in a world full of signs. Images that feel real, but they are not. Advertisements that sell us happiness. Headlines that hide the full story. Photos that filter out the pain. The Matrix is not just technology. It is a world where machines shape what we think is true. Michel Foucault called it dispositif, a network of tools, ideas, and habits that shape who you are. A school doesn't teach just mathematics. It teaches you how to sit still, raise your hand, follow the bell. A prison doesn't just hold bodies, it produces behavior. When Morpheus said, "Welcome to the desert of the real," he meant reality is not gone, but our access to it has been covered by layers of beliefs. Derrida said, meaning is never final. It is always sliding, always shifting, like a word that never fully captures what you feel. Neo's journey is not only about escape, it is about seeing himself differently, and that is very difficult. When the mirror melts, it's much more than just a special effect. It is a symbol for identity falling apart. Just like Lacan said, we firstly see ourselves through a mirror. We learn about ourselves through that reflection, but the image on the mirror, the one that you are trying to live up to, is never really you. Neo was living as Thomas Anderson, but that name wasn't his. It was a mask, a script, a role. He stops repeating what the system expects, and he starts seeing the code beneath. Becoming the one is not a magic. It is a shift in understanding, a new way of seeing the rules and then changing them. As Judith Butler said, identity is not a deep truth inside of you. It is something that you perform, and therefore you are in a constant process of becoming. We learn to behave like a man or like a lady. We learn what is professional, what is successful. We copy, we repeat, we fit in, until it starts feeling natural. Neo is called Mr. Anderson by Agent Smith, but Neo starts to glitch. He stops repeating the lines, and that glitch becomes a possibility. The Oracle as well is a glitch. She doesn't give facts, she gives choice. She actually helps people to step out of patterns. Post-constructivism says that truth is not just discovered. Truth is made through habits, through repetition, through patterns, through language. Foucault said that power is not just about rules or violence. It is about shaping what we think is normal. In the Matrix, there are no chains, but we feel confined because we have been trained to believe that there is no alternative. Choice is an illusion, not because we have no choice, but because the choices are designed for us. Surveillance is not just about police or cameras. It is about how you learn to watch yourself. It is about how you correct your own behavior without being told. Think of a classroom where no one talks out of turn. Not because the teacher is watching, but because everyone is watching each other. Resistance is so much more than just breaking rules. It can also mean speaking in a way that the system doesn't understand. Wearing colors you were told to avoid. Using a language they tried to silence. Neo doesn't win by knowing more. He wins by seeing differently. He lets go of old rules, of what the world told him is possible. To bend the spoon, he realizes there is no spoon. The spoon is actually a belief, a limit, a pattern. Post-epistemic self is not about having all the answers. It is about having the will to change, to listen, to break, to begin again. The Matrix is a movie, yes, but it is also a metaphor for how meaning works, for how control feels, for how possibility begins. To say there is no spoon is to say the world you see was scripted. You can change the script. What feels natural might be training. What feels final might be a beginning. We do not have to be the one. We can be many, glitchers, whispers, reminders that this world isn't the only one. Not to destroy the system, but to outgrow it, to dream differently, to build differently.
In a world that moves too fast, thinking is a sacred pause. Thank you for thinking with us in RUFAT'S Thinking Corner. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, stay human.